Hi, it's counselor and certified eating disorder specialist, Dr. Greg Jantz. I also do supervision for and consultation for eating disorders. Eating disorders. I began working with issues of anorexia, bulimia, and food addiction over 40 years ago and developed a whole person program. Authored my first book on eating disorders in 1992, Hope, Help, and Healing for Eating Disorders. That book is still, it's been revised, but it's still in print. And as a counselor, I want to let you know eating disorders are cunning and baffling and challenging, but there's hope. You have to approach eating disorders from a whole different vantage point of the whole person model. So, how about anger and how anger and eating disorders are connected? Think of anger as being a suppressed emotion. I made a note here that many individuals with eating disorders do have great trouble actually expressing anger in a healthy way. Now, instead of just outwardly sharing the frustration, it could be turned inward and comes through self-criticism, restricting on food, binging, purging, overeating, grazing. So, anger and eating disorders go hand in hand. Another word for anger could be hurt, deep wounds. The role of control. Eating disorders oftentimes are about control, about holding some power and control. And it's the one area, food, one area that we can try to control. It ends up controlling us. But when emotions are not managed, anger, fear, guilt, shame, you are going to be internalizing all that. And the eating disorder is going to have kind of a full reign. Self-punishment and guilt. These are just some areas that we're looking at how eating disorders and anger are connected. Anger it can be a way of self-punishment and fueling an eating disorder. If I restrict or I purge, it's a form of self-destructive punishment. And it really takes the opposite meaning of what food's about, nourishment, and turns it into punishment. All right, here's some signs that food could be used for coping with anger. Emotional eating. If I'm even celebrating, I'm eating. If I'm hurt, I'm angry, I'm eating. If I do a lot of self-critical thinking, self-critical judgments of myself after I eat, if I'm compulsively exercising and just going off and exercising compulsively, maybe right after eating. Isolation. I can withdraw from social situations in order to turn to food. All right, here's how to break the cycle of anger and disordered eating. Some good first steps. Recognize that anger, first of all, is a valid emotion. And we've got to figure out a different way of dealing with anger or hurt versus internalizing it. It may be what we've learned, but look, we can relearn a different way. And it starts with really giving ourselves permission to express anger in constructive ways, just letting it come out without being destructive to you or to others. I think, too, there's another healthy outlet for anger, not compulsively, but you could do a walk, you can change the room you're in, drink water, walk, appropriate exercise, music, creative outlets, but we need a way of self-expression. And then we need to reframe the self-talk. Instead of internalizing and blame, there's something we call self-compassion, having appropriate self-respect that says, I'm not going to punish myself. It's a difficult situation, but I'm not going to turn this inward. All right, there's a time, and with eating disorders, it is certainly a very important time to come to a point of decision that says, I am no longer going to be in bondage or controlled by food. And I'm going to get help. And let me just say, a specialized kind of help. I mentioned that I was a certified eating disorder specialist, and I also am a consultant for eating disorders. Those are professional categories that those in the eating disorder field have. I'm going to go to somebody who really understands eating disorders, or a program that has a specific eating disorder program, but I'm going to want to have a whole person. I'm going to want to have every area of my life looked at, not only nutrition and fitness and medical and wellness medicine, my sleep. I'm going to do a sleep study. I want to have everything looked at. All right. That's what we do at the center, a place of hope. I have a wonderful eating disorder questionnaire that's confidential and private, and you can find it at aplaceofhope.com. An excellent place just to start.